Hello everyone, welcome back to Georgia Paper Crafts. Today I am working with the Spellbinders April 2020 card of the month. This is called Weekend Fun, and I've had this for a little bit. I got caught up making a bunch of cards for essential workers, and you probably will be able to see that before I even post this video. So I apologize for it being kind of late getting out, but I'm looking forward to working with it. So as always, we get in the kit the card that kind of shows you some card inspirations along with how to use the dies. The dies that come in the kit this month are, get it out, almost like it makes a cameo. It does make a cameo with a wreath like that would go around with flowers. So you get that, and then you get a sentiment that says celebrate, along with some of the dies. These are leaves, these are flowers, big and small, along with some bigger leaves. This is a bow to go around the neck of the woman. And then these dies go along with the stamp set, which is kind of neat. This is the first time that they've done that. This die here will cut out the bee. And I'm probably got that wrong. Yep, just like that. There we go. Cuts that out. And then these cut out the hexagon. So you've got one for the bigger one, and then one for the smaller one. So you can cut out the stamps that you have done, or you can of course cut these out just of regular colored paper. So that should be pretty cool. Then of course we have this stamp set, and this one is bee themed. It of course has a bee with a hexagon and the bee hive with some florals. Has a big bee saying along with "'Cause I love you." It would be "Because I love you, be beautiful," and I guess you can add "day" onto that. Happy because you are amazing. Celebrate like you're the queen. And this would be "Have a beautiful day." Friends, we weren't meant to believe in friends. We were meant to believe in yourself. I'm not sure if that's supposed to go together, but anyway. Got the foam adhesive, along with double-sided adhesive. Pack of green sequins. I usually do not use the sequins that come in the pack. These are a little bit too big for my liking, but I do keep them. Got a set of course, the 10 pre-folded and scored card bases, white card bases with accompanying envelopes, and I'll use that to make the 10 cards. We've got the stickers. These are chipboard stickers here, and they're on this side and this side of all different kinds of stuff, words, sentiment, images. Then these are the stickers, and there's just one page of this, but they are have foam adhesive by it, so they do pop up. Get the card paper pad that coordinates with this. Usually this is a 40-page single-sided paper pad with recurring images twice. So you have 2 of each of the images usually, I believe. And as you can see, it comes everything from florals to bees to a little bit of foiling, kind of a gold foiling there, butterflies, fruit, little hexagon shapes there. So got the card stock that comes in the kit. We've got a green, peach, medium pink, white, dark pink, light pink, lavender, gold foil, and a navy. And then then of course we have the ephemera die cut shapes here, and I'm going to put all these out and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have them all put out here, and there are a lot. There's a lot of stuff, sentiments, flowers, champagne bubbles, gummy bears, bees, all kinds of, and then the big, almost like a brunch thing with a bunch of food here and some Sunday sentiments. Of course, the peach, some butterflies. So looking forward to working with this, and I'm going to go ahead and get started and make 10 cards.
So for card number 1, I decided I wanted to use the stamp. I usually don't use the stamp, but I really like the stamp this time. So I stamped out the beehive, and I stamped it with Versamark Black Onyx ink, which is a pigment ink and stays wet for a little while. So I was able to also clear heat emboss that also, just to help give it that shine. So I did that. I colored them in with my Tombow markers and using some water. And again, I did all this off screen because I didn't want this video to be too terribly long. Besides the beehive, I decided to go ahead and stamp the sentiment, "Because I love you." Again, I did it the same way with the Versafine Onyx Black ink and clear embossing powder. I used Brutus Monroe Icicle clear embossing powder. Now, once I did that, I used my inside out stitch rectangle die from MFT. I cut out the inner portion of the image that I colored, along with a frame for that, and that was out of one of the pieces of the pattern paper that came in the kit. And now I'm just attaching some purple fun foam that I had from my stash onto the back, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of this down. Now, off screen, when I was doing the beehive, I also colored a couple of the bees, and I cut them out using the die that came in the kit. And I'm going to attach those right there. These were so adorable. I'm going to bring in some Nuvo drops here just to finish off the flowers. And these are in Crushed Grape, Carnation Pink, Blue Lagoon. And that's it for this card. Card number 1's done. Now number 2, I decided to use the little hexagon die that came in the kit. Now this coordinates with one of the stamps, or like I'm doing here, I took it and decided just to cut it out of some cardstock that I had actually sitting in my scrap bin, and I took it and I'm coloring them out of rainbow colors. And I'm doing a pattern that I kind of found on Pinterest, where I do 5 down, and then I do 6 down, then 5, and everything across the board. I made 2 lines across the sheet with my T ruler, just so that I can kind of hopefully keep it straight. So I'm usually not so good at keeping things straight, so I did that. Now, I honestly didn't think I'd have enough room to do the orange and the yellow when I first did this. So that's why I tried to combine them 2 here and did the orange and then the yellow. Well, come to find out, of course, when I'm finished, I had enough room for 2 more rows, and I could have done one. But, of course, that was hindsight 2020, and I had realized it's too late. I had already put these down. So it doesn't look great. I really wish I would have probably just gone with one color, but I'm going to go with it. So once I finished that, I erased my pencil lines that I had made, and I'm going to bring in my Nuvo clear shimmer pen just to put a little shimmer onto these pieces of cardstock. And I am squeezing a little bit out of the nib, so I do get a large amount of hair over to the right hand side. Now once I'm finished with this, I will go ahead and mat that onto some of the navy cardstock that came in the kit. And I picked out a piece of pattern paper I'm going to put that down. It's just slightly smaller than the card base, leaving a white border. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this hexagon pattern sheet. And I'm going to bring in this die cut that says "No One Else Like You." And I'm going to adhere that using foam squares, which I did. I had 2 extra bees from the ones that I had cut and colored previously. I attached those, and I also attached the word "beautiful" down below. That is part of the die cut shapes that came in the kit. Put a little bit of diamond stickles onto the wings, just to give them a little bit of a shimmer. And that's it for that card. Now moving on to card number 3, I again took 2 pattern papers and cut each of them out with the inside out stitch rectangle from MFT. And so I'm using the almost like tie-dye pattern for the frame, and the green pattern paper, which has the florals off to the side, for the inside. And I took 3 pieces, 3 of the die cut pieces, the flowers, the dress, and the purse, and I just kind of put them all together, popped up the dress, and then on the bottom I'm going to adhere the word "beautiful." I'm going to go ahead and once again put a little bit of fun foam just to pop up this middle piece. On the back, I used the same purple one that I had used previously. And again, this has adhesive on one side of it, so I only had to put the double-sided adhesive on one side of it that I was going to put down. Then I can just kind of pull that up and adhere it. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in some, these are rhinestones from my stash. This is Fire Opal Rhinestones. And here you can see I got a big glop of glue there, trying to get it up before it dried. I'm just going to add 3. And put a little bit of the Nuvo shimmer pin onto the flowers. And that's it for this card. Pretty simple. Moving on to card number 4. Card 4 and 5 are very similar because, again, I used Blueprints Dynamics die to cut out 2 pieces of pattern paper, and I adhered them to this dark pink cardstock. And down the middle, I put a piece of the gold mirrored cardstock. I'm going to trim off the edges here. I believe this is the MFT Blueprint Sketch number 18 die. I'm going to adhere all of that to the card base. I'm going to bring in one of those puffy stickers that came in kit. This says, "Hey there," with a flower. I'm going to use some of the die cuts from the kit. These are some of the butterflies. I'm going to adhere them straight down onto the pattern paper. And then a heart. Then I decided to bring in some more of my Nuvo drops. And again, this is in the color of Carnation Pink. And I also use the crushed grape. Just trying to flatten them out. And that's it for that one. Nice and simple. Now, because again, I cut both pieces of pattern paper out using this die, I have the reverse side. So I'm going to make a second card out of it. And I'm adhering the opposite sides down here. And same again, backing it onto this hot pink cardstock, putting a piece of the gold mirrored cardstock strip. I'm going to trim that up. I had cut a oval scallop die or scallop piece out of the hot pink cardstock, and that is from a Spellbinders die. And I pulled out one of the die cut pieces. This is the girl's head profile shadow image, and I decided at first I wanted to add some of these flowers on top to try to make it a little bit dimensional, and I just fiddled with it so much I really didn't like the way it looked. So what you'll see is me kind of moving things around, fiddling, realizing that I got some stuff stuck down, then I couldn't get it up, and then I ruined the paper. So I wound up scrapping this die cut, and luckily each die cut has two. There's two of each die cut, so I was able to just get another one and start again. You can see here I'm fiddling around, I'm looking at that, I pulled that up, the green was still there, it just didn't look good. I was like, let's just scrap this piece. So here I've got my other die cut piece. I'm going to adhere that bow that I die cut from some of the Gold Bear cardstock, and I forgone, putting any more flower die cuts up on the top. It just didn't work out. So I want to hit it and adhere that to the scallop oval die. I want to adhere this with some foam adhesive so that I can pop it up. Just cutting and using every little piece of the dimensional foam pieces that came in the kit. And actually, I think I'd already used up the ones that came in the kit. I had some extra from previously that I pulled out. Get that adhered down. I'm going to bring in this chipboard sticker, put a little glue on the back just to make sure it says. And it says, "You're my favorite." I'm going to bring in some bright gold Nuvo drops along with my diamond stickles, just to help adorn some of the flowers there and around the card. And that's it for this one. Pretty simple. Moving on to the next card, I used a piece of pattern paper, this gold speckled pattern paper, adhered it to some mirrored gold cardstock to mat it and cut it down. I'm going to adhere that onto the navy cardstock here, kind of center that, cut off the excess, and then adhere it onto the card base. Have the puffy sticker that I pulled out, the one that says cheers. And then I went ahead and off camera, I stamped one of the sentiments from the card set. The stamp set. And it says, "Celebrate like you're the queen." So I stamped that, and then I cut it out with a stitched banner die. I also pulled out two of the champagne glasses, and I'm adhering them flat down onto the paper. I am going to go ahead and adhere the sentiment kind of hanging off, and I'll cut off the excess. I'm trying to decide which way I want to put the crown kind of hanging off of the sentiment there. Decided I wanted to pop up the champagne bottle. So I put some foam adhesive on the back there. And I adhere that right in the middle of the champagne glasses. I'll add the crown with some glue. And then I'll pop up the foam sticker there. Add a little bit of glue back onto the back just to help it stay. I'm going to bring in my diamond stickles just to kind of add a little shimmer onto the bubbles of the glass. And that's it for that one. So moving on to the next one, I decided to keep this pretty simple. I used 2 of the pattern papers and cut the first one down to just slightly smaller than the card size, and then I cut down another piece of pattern paper and backed it with the navy. I'm going to bring out the die cut piece, the present die cut piece, and I'm going to get that adhered down using some foam adhesive. Off to the side there you see the champagne glass, and that is the chipboard sticker that came in the kit. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down once I get all the backing off. And then I'm going to put a little glue on the back of the chipboard sticker and put that down. Now off camera, I had cut the word celebrate from the die that came in the kit. And it's a very delicate die, but I cut it out 4 times and it adhered it together just to give it a little bit of dimension. Can't really tell, it's still so small. But I cut that out of that gold pattern paper. I'd adhere that flat down, and then I'm going to adhere these sentiments, or the speech bubbles, and it said fizz pop. I cut off the speech bubble part of it just because there's nobody talking, and I'd adhered those down. Put a little bit of shimmer glitz on there, along with just some diamond stickles just to kind of glitz it up. And this could go for any kind of occasion that you want to, say, celebrate, whether it's a birthday or something else. Now here I cut down the hexagon gold foiled pattern paper, adhered it onto a piece of miracle cardstock, leaving just a small little border, adhered it down, cut off the excess. I had already cut out, not cut out, but I had already stamped the sentiment that says, because you are amazing, and I had stamped that down. Then I used that foam sticker and adhered it down. Now I had initially put some foam on the back of the banner attached to that, and it just didn't sit real well for me. So you'll see me eventually kind of fiddle with it, and because I just, again, didn't like the way it sat, but I also didn't like how it sat when I took it off. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, and I'm kind of fiddling and moving some more toward the beehive to try to give it a little bit more stability. And I know you can't really see what I'm doing, I apologize, but I did get that to the point that I like it. And of course the banner on the sticker says believe in yourself, and the sentiment that I stamped says because you're amazing. And a little bit of gold stickles to the wings of the bees. This one, of course, I had to use the Yay balloons. These Yay balloons are some of my favorite. I wish there was more like that. Just layering some pattern paper onto some pink cardstock. Gonna adhere all of that onto the card base. Trim everything up. Brought in some more of the champagne glasses, or yeah, I guess champagne wine glass, whatever it is. Gonna adhere those down. I'm kind of in the same kind of pattern that I did last time, where I put the bottle in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the chipboard stickers of the balloons that say Yay. And again, this could be for anything. You could use that for, you know, celebration for anniversary, birthday, you know, wedding, anything like that. I adorned it with a little bit of the diamond stickles. And that's done with that one. So cute. Loved it. Last one, I used the dies that came in the set, and I made the cameo. And so I pulled out a rectangle scallop die from April, and I attached that floral leaf one that I had cut out using the die from the set onto that. So onto the pink. I also cut out the mirrored gold cardstock woman silhouette and adhered that along with some flowers. I'm using the floral pattern paper, goodness, floral pattern paper, adhering that straight down. And that's just kind of lined with the mirror gold cardstock also. I'm going to pop up the cameo image. And you can see I pulled out two of the word die cut shapes. One says amazing and the other one says memories. I backed them with some purple cardstock and then cut it out. And that's just to help make it pop a little bit more because they weren't really bold sentiments as far as how they looked. So that says amazing memories. On the inside, I am going to put I love you. And I figured that somebody could send this off to somebody they love. I'm going to add a little bit of Nuvo drops, again in the color of Crushed Grape and Carnation Pink. And that's it for this one. I like the way that turned out. So here is a quick look at all the cards that I made today. I enjoyed using this kit. I could absolutely make a lot more, and actually I think I might start going back through my kits and making more cards as I have so much left over. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and were able to get inspired to use the contents from your kit. If not, then hopefully you'll be interested in, if you don't have this kit, maybe you'll be interested in buying it. I think Spellbinders card kits of the month are definitely worth the price for sure. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I encourage you to do so. And come back and join me for more videos from Georgia Paper Crafts.